Good evening. My name is Cody Ryle, and I will be previewing 3 out of the 15 books in my revised classroom library list. First book I want to preview for you guys this evening is called The Coffee Can Kid. The Coffee Can Kid was written by an author named Jan. She first started out her career as a middle school teacher. Then she shifted gears and started a career as an author. She's written many children's books and many adult books. So, The Coffee Can Kid. This is a great book about adoption. The little girl on the front cover right here, her name is Annie. She's adopted from a foreign country. The book does not tell us what country, doesn't tell us what nationality she is, but it is a story about her stepfather telling her about the journey that she took. She was born to an unwed mother that was very young at the time, and her mother lived with her grandmother that was very old at the time. They lived in her grandmother's hut in a village. They were poor, food was scarce to come by. There was no father in the picture. So a young unwed mother, she went through the trials and tribulations of how am I going to take care of this child, because I don't have enough money to take care of this child. So she put her up for adoption, and she was adopted and brought over here to the United States. And like I said, this book is all about her stepfather telling her the story about the Coffee Can Kid, which turns out to be her. It's, like I said, it's a great book about adoption. I know that we have students that have either been adopted themselves, or they have a stepbrother or stepsister that might have been adopted into the family, or they might have cousins that were adopted. So this would be a great story to have in your library that could speak to students that's been down that road or has seen students go down that road. The second book is I Have a Sister, My Sister is Deaf. This is another great book. In this book, there's two little girls, and the sister is telling the story about her sister that's deaf. Her sister can play with the children just like a normal child. She can run, she can throw snowballs, she can skip, she can hop, she can have fun, she can jump rope, and she can also tell when a dog's barking. She can tell when the cat's purring. She can tell when the radio's on just by feel. And I chose this book because I've had students in the past that have had a brother or a sister or a cousin that has had a disability. So this would be a great book to have in your classroom library that could speak to those students you have that might have a brother, might have a sister, might have a cousin in the family that has a disability, and just because they have a disability doesn't mean that, you know, they're any different. Doesn't mean that they can't be a normal kid. The third book I chose is called The Water Princess. This was written by an author named Susan Verde. She is a children's author, and she also teaches kids yoga, which is kind of surprising to me. Never heard of an author teaching yoga before, especially to kids. But anywho, this is about a little girl over in Africa. Her name is Princess Gigi. And I'm going to read a quote real quick from the book. Why is the water so far? Why is the water not clear? These are words that come out of Princess Gigi's mouth. So every morning, Princess Gigi, she gets up She doesn't get dressed and go to school. She gets up, grabs a pail, her mother grabs another pail, and they both start a journey to the river in order to get water to bring back to the home so they can have water to cook, clean, and drink for the day. Not for the week, for the day. This book would be great to have in your classroom library because it teaches the lesson, the underlying lesson, that we shouldn't take everyday things for granted. Yes, we can walk over to the sink and we can turn the sink on and water comes out. Well, that's convenient for us over here in the United States, but over in many other countries, they might not have running water and they might have to go on a long journey just to bring water back so their family can use water for a day. Princess Gigi doesn't have the opportunity to go to school and get an education. What she does every morning is she goes off, gets water to help her family. She helps her family, which every child needs to be able to do, is help their family. No, I'm not saying they need to, go fetch water, but I'm just saying, help out. So I think this would be a great book to have in your classroom library to show students that not every child has the same luxuries you have. Not every child just has access to water. I know I've rambled on and I'm not good at doing stuff like this, but I appreciate you guys watching my video and I hope you guys get something from it. And maybe you can use some of these books in your classroom, or maybe some of these books hit home for you. There's no telling. But thank you for listening. You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.